Jonah was a prophet. God told him to go to Nineveh. The people there were very wicked. God wanted Jonah to tell them to change their ways. But Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh. He was afraid of the people there. He thought they were mean and scary. So Jonah decided to run away from God. He got on a ship and sailed in the opposite direction. Jonah thought he could hide from God, but God saw him. He sent a big storm to the sea. The waves crashed against the ship. The sailors were very afraid. They thought the ship would sink. Jonah knew that the storm was his fault. He told the sailors to throw him overboard. He knew this was the only way to save the ship and the crew. The sailors didn't want to hurt Jonah, but the storm was getting worse. They knew they had to do something. So they threw Jonah overboard. The storm stopped immediately. The sea was calm again. The sailors were amazed. They knew that God had done something miraculous. Jonah was all alone in the middle of the sea. He was terrified. He thought he would drown. But then something amazing happened. A giant fish swam up to Jonah and swallowed him whole. Jonah was trapped inside the fish's belly. It was dark and smelly inside the fish. Jonah couldn't see anything. He couldn't breathe very well. He felt hopeless and alone. He knew he had made a terrible mistake. Jonah was very sorry that he had disobeyed God. He wished he had gone to Nineveh like he was supposed to. For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah was trapped inside the fish. He had plenty of time to think. He realized that he had been selfish and foolish. He had tried to run away from God, but he couldn't hide from God's love. Jonah was desperate. He knew that only God could save him. So he started to pray. He cried out to God from the belly of the fish. He admitted that he had sinned. He asked God to forgive him. He promised that he would obey God if he was given another chance. Jonah's prayer was very simple, but it was sincere. He meant every word he said. He knew that he didn't deserve God's mercy, but he also knew that God was full of love and compassion. Jonah remembered that God had saved his people before. He had rescued them from slavery in Egypt. He had parted the Red Sea for them. He had led them to the Promised Land. Jonah knew that God could do anything. He held on to that hope. God heard Jonah's prayer. He saw his repentance, and he had compassion on him. God commanded the fish to spit Jonah out onto dry land. The fish obeyed. It swam to the shore and vomited Jonah out onto the beach. Jonah was so relieved to be free. He coughed and sputtered. He felt the warm sun on his skin. He breathed in the fresh air. He was alive. God had saved him. Jonah was so grateful. He knew that he had been given a second chance. This time he wouldn't disappoint God. Jonah got up and went to Nineveh. He told the people what God had told him to say. He warned them that they needed to change their ways. To his surprise, the people listened to him. They were sorry for their sins. They turned to God and asked for forgiveness. God saw their repentance and forgave them. Jonah learned a powerful lesson that day. He learned that God is always with us, even when we make mistakes, even when we run away from him. God is always ready to forgive us. He is always ready to give us another chance. All we have to do is ask.